Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me out there? I want to make sure I'm heard. You know, a person like me, that's very important to be able to be heard. Oh, man. Hey, everybody. How's everybody been doing? I've been out for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Look at that. 3 weeks. Took 3 weeks to get over that mess. I'm going to talk to y'all about some stuff today. PRT, Paranormal Round Table. Josh Turner, also known as Wolf. I'm in the studio. I've been in here one time since I got sick. And that was to fetch something. So, but we're going to get back on track. We're going to drop the show Friday. It's going to be part 2 of the Mothman. That episode is going to be good. I tell some stories on that one, and we do some stuff. I want y'all to know that I wanted to get back in here today, and I wanted to talk to everybody. I needed to be back in here. I needed to be back in the saddle. I can't just sit around and be sick. A lot of things going on. But let me get the Patreon going here. Lost a few people apparently. Lost faith in me. Ryan, Super Hornet 1, Debbie Wolf, Extreme Reality Check, Histotech, James Estrada, Tim Renard, Ricardo Herrera, Barry, Titan, Chronological, Dead Man Walking, Guy, Don Wells, Melissa Panay, Derek Tribble, Andrea Krask, Patrick Nickerson, Dick Richards, Joyce Brunette, Wendy Page Williams, Barbara Blendy, Martin Hertel, Terry Fusler, Chris Clough, Lou the Gooey Doodoo. Okay, so he's changed his name again. Curtis Turner, Philip Morn, Alexandra Murphy, Matthew Durgo, Chris Smith, and Ralph Ayu. Thank you for being $10 Patreons, helping basically to produce this show. Even though I was sick, I want y'all to know I had COVID. And even though I was sick, I couldn't stop working. I didn't go and sit post, but I still had to sit there and man the phones, and I had to make schedules, and I had to continue to work, which is really hard. I'm going to tell you right now, this COVID that we had, my wife is home sick. She's still not fully recovered. We thought that she had turned the corner, but we need prayers. Please, please, please send some prayers for my Nellie. I want her to get better. Anthony got over it, and he had it before we did, and he got over it. I'll tell you what happened. I'd started getting really sloppy with my supplementation. I'm a big D3, K2, zinc, vitamin C, magnesium. I take apple cider vinegar. I take all these supplements, and I rarely get sick. But I was working out hard. I was going to the gym. I was doing the boxing, kickboxing, and I was doing, burning the candle at both ends. I was working, lifting weights all the time. And so that's my life. It's always been my life. I always do that kind of stuff. So working out real hard. And then I started taking my supplements like every other day. Then maybe every 3 days. And I'm not kidding. I really think that's what got me sick. And then when Anthony got sick, I thought, well, I'll just start taking my vitamins, again, like normal. And it was too late. Anthony had COVID. And 2 or 3 days, I got it. So I was 2 or 3 days behind him. We may have got it from the same source. Who knows? But on the 18th, I started feeling really bad. And I was like, well, I need to go to the gym. And something kept telling me, no, don't go. And I felt really tired, like a fatigue. But I've felt that way before, and I've gone to the gym, and I knocked it out, and it was fine. But I didn't go, thank goodness. And the next day, I was just flattened. Here's the weird thing. I may have had a fever one time. One time maybe. And so I don't understand it. I've never had an illness that gives you the sweats, the chills, and the body aches, the joint aches, all that, and does not. You don't have a fever. Like Anthony had a fever. My brother and his son Zane, they both have it right now. They've had fever off and on. My wife and me, barely any fever. I had a fever maybe one time. It got up to 100.3. That was it. And it was just brief. And then it was like it broke within like 30 minutes, an hour. It was gone. And I can't believe how low my temperature was. At one point, it was 96.3. It was hovering around 97.7, 97.8. I was really sick, but no fever. Now, how do you get all that stuff without the fever? Because it attacks your nervous system. That's the only thing I can think of. Did a lot of research, a lot of studying on it. We're not going to get into a debate about people being vaccinated or not vaccinated. I know about half a dozen people who are in the hospital, 5 now, people that have passed just in the last few months. And it was just, whatever, well, I don't know what variant it was. Whatever it was, I'm going to go and get checked on the 14th. I believe it's scheduled for the 14th. Yes. 14th. And then I have to get my butt up here and try to do the show. I know just as many people who have it that are vaccinated that aren't. Shortly before I got ill with it, my good friend, one of my buddies, Lyle Blackburn, had it. And Lyle didn't want to tell a bunch of people. He had told, I think, Ken and Nick and me. Didn't tell many people. And he hit me up and we started talking and he said, I got COVID. And he couldn't shake the cough. The cough's pretty much what I got now. I still got like a little bit of a cough. But I'm not out of the woods because you never know with this crap. So Lyle got over it, but he's still getting residual, but he's healthy. He made it through. And he was coming to the tail end of it when I got it. And we weren't around each other. We had made plans for him to come to Austin and come on the show and all that. But those had to be canned because, him being sick. And then I got sick. And everything's been kind of put on the back burner. And somebody said all the names of these COVIDs come from the Nerds movies. It's the Greek. You know what it is. Anyways, I got really sad news. My old co-host Armando Salazar, his wife, messaged me this morning. Armando passed away. From COVID. He had it for about 2 weeks. So he was about a week behind me, I guess. And today is the third week for me. But Armando has passed away, and I just had messaged him, a couple months ago. Last time I had talked to him, it was brief. Hey, how you doing? Such and such, and we keep up like that. Yeah, somebody asked about Johnny Henderson. I'm going to tell y'all something, and I don't know if Johnny wants me to say this or not, but Johnny is doing very bad. Johnny's got COVID, and he's in the hospital. I need all of you guys out there, if you believe in God, you believe in Christ, whether you're Christian, Muslim, whatever you are, please pray for Johnny Henderson. Elijah and Gabby, I believe, have turned the corner, but Johnny is not doing good. And like I said, I don't think he wants me saying whatever, but at this point, he could be on his deathbed. So, as my friend, please pray for him that he recovers. I have high blood pressure, and amazingly, my blood pressure didn't come into play. It stayed low. I don't know what was going on. The healing hand of God had to be on me because that's all I could think of. The blood pressure never got out of hand. Fever didn't come, didn't get out of hand. I was sick as a dog, and I still don't know how I'm sitting here. I just took it day by day, every day. I used a steamer, to clear my airways. It was my wife's steamer. She took good care of me. I tried to take care of her as best I could. We were taking turns, just trying to help each other. It's good to have somebody that you can depend on. It's of the devil, dude. I'm telling you, this stuff, it's got to be man-made. I mean, I don't know what else you can tell. I mean, it's just an awful thing. I was sick for about 3 weeks last year, but nothing like this. Whatever this was, it was way worse. And I thought last year I had COVID, and I was just like, this has to be COVID. It just goes on and on and on. It was making me sick. And, but anyways, I wanted to show my face, show everybody that I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. And we're going to do some things. We're going to get back on track. We're going to start making episodes, making content again. It's just going to take some time to get through all of this. I know you guys saw the action figure line. They're all done. We got David Weather. We made one of him because he's a good friend of mine. I like David. We're talking about making some little small. You remember those little muscle characters? I don't know if people remember those from the 80s. But we're thinking about making a little small 4-packs of those little ones and having all the cryptids and all the researchers and everything in there. Here's the problem with the action figure thing. I got a bunch of messages from people who think that they're very important and were very upset with me because they got left out. You don't know where we're going to do, where we're going to go with this. We don't know who all is going to be on there, who's going to be involved. But I got a bunch of people talking trash. One guy told Lyle, he goes, "I'm more famous than you. Why are you?" He's not. I mean, I don't know what this guy's talking about. He told Lyle that. I'm just going like, this is retarded. This is ridiculous. I don't understand these people. I'm more famous than you. Why did you get an action figure and I didn't? Maybe you have the personality of a cardboard cutout. Could be why. Maybe people don't like you. I don't like you either. You better watch yourself. That's a Star Wars line. Anyways, I just want everybody to know that I'm alive and kicking. Got that cough. No longer, pretty sure I'm no longer contagious. Stayed at home for the most part and just toughed it out and let my body fight it off. And Armando went to the hospital. There is a particular medication, and I'm not going to get into it here because I don't want to get messed with. But a lot of people getting it, and they're taking that medication, and it's like getting rid of them. And I'm worried about some people. I'm just like, hey, man, if you go in, my cousin's wife, which is just she's really my cousin. They've been together for 25 years. Very sweet person. She's in the hospital. My buddy Arash lost his first cousin Piper, who was one of his best friends. And It's just one thing after another. My friend Joe Kirk has lost several people. It's just bad. It's just bad stuff. We're dealing with some bad stuff. And there's nothing that we can do. You know, there's people, I know two people, one's dad is on a ventilator. He's got the vaccine, and I don't, what's going to stop this? Can it be stopped? I don't know. All you can do is pray and be prepared. Be right with God is all you can do. Found other bad news. Found out that the BiPAP machine that I've been using to try to breathe at night to live, I've been for the last year and a half, I've been using this particular machine. Found out that it's causing people cancer. It's great. Yeah. It's messing up their heart, their kidneys, and their lungs, their liver, and giving people cancer. So now I got to deal with that. I had a lot of people prepared and lined up that I was going to bring on. We were going to tell their stories. We were going to talk. Just everything got blown out of the water. So I don't even have my notebook in here where I can look. Oh, well. So I'm going to be planning on doing a show with Barton Nunley. I had talked to Johnny right before we both got sick. I mean, we literally got COVID about the same time. Yeah, somebody get a hold of Joe Rogan and tell him to get in touch with me so we can figure this out. Yeah. I did have something funny happen. I had somebody tell me that they were going to beat me up while I was with COVID, and I said, if you do that, then you're going to get COVID too. And then they were like, oh, I'll wait. And then you'll be weak when you come off COVID. And I said, good move. So be looking for that. The guy's going to come beat me up. I'm scared. I'm terrified of that. I don't know what people's obsession is with that, It's just so ridiculous. Like, just getting messages like, I'll beat you up. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. What does it matter? It's just hilarious. I want to send a shout out to to all my friends that stuck by me, everybody that I've talked to, and everybody that's been by me. Just got off the phone with Barton earlier. I'll be doing a show with him, like I said. I'd planned on doing one with Johnny. And please pray for Johnny. Please pray for Johnny. I want him to be okay. And there's several other people that need prayer. I can think of about 3 off the top of my head that are just in the hospital. This is horrible. What's going on? One of my friend's uncles is in the hospital. And see, now somebody said ivermectin. He got vaccinated. And he has tried the ivermectin. That's funny, you just put that on there. Didn't help. So it's not something that you can look at and go, hey, you know what? This is going to solve the problem. I know about 3 people who had taken the ivermectin and it helped briefly, and then they went back to being sick. Here's what I took. I took D3, K2, vitamin C. I took zinc, I took magnesium, and I took a few other things. But those were the main ones. Now the K2, you got to take it because it activates the D3. A lot of people think that if you just take the vitamin D, that it's going to fix that. That's not the case. A lot of people are dying from different ways. They're getting blood clots, or they're getting they can't breathe. They get pneumonia. Pretty sure I had it. I stayed at home and I'd managed to beat it. It wasn't easy. Okay. It was just, it's just touch and go. There's nothing you can do. There's no easy fix to this, folks. There's no easy way out. I think eventually we're all going to have to just face it. I mean, in one form or another. Yeah, and I have family that are cattle people, a lot of them on my dad's side in particular. But they are cattle and horses and sheep and everything else you can think of, goats. And some of them took ivermectin and it seemed to help. But I know people who did take it and it didn't do anything. So, when it comes to all this, I'm very neutral because I don't know. All I know is what happened to me. And I think I've had COVID twice probably, and I'm pretty sure I had something bad last year. If it wasn't COVID, it mimicked it. So, anyways, I just wanted to make sure that everybody's on the up and up here. Everybody knows that I'm alive. I made it through the worst of it. Typically, it runs about 3 weeks. After the 2-week mark, I felt terrible, but I was starting to come out of it. I'm not going to do anything strenuous for about 2 weeks because that's what was recommended not to do. After you start feeling better, you wait about 2 weeks. I hope that everybody takes this seriously. I didn't go to any big parties and go hang out at bars, and I wasn't being around large groups of people. I wasn't even going up to Topgolf when it was open. I wasn't even, and that's one of my accounts. I didn't even go up there. I didn't do a lot of these things that people do that they get it. The only thing I did was go to the gym. And I'm not saying that's where I got it. I think I got it from Anthony, but and then Nelly got it from me. So, anyways, the week before I got sick, I had talked to Albert Rosales. I was going to get him to come on the show, and we were going to talk. And then I'm going to do a larger show with him. I'm going to do a show with him. Yes. We're still figuring it out. I'm going to do one with Lyle before he goes on his tour. I'm going to do one with Barton. Praise God, Barton hasn't gotten sick. Praise God. That's all I can say. I'm sorry to everybody who's gotten sick and fallen ill. And I'm just pray that I can stay healthy. Hopefully this thing with my machine, and they're being real jackasses about it too. Like they're not offering to replace it or refund me. With that machine, they're just saying, well, sorry. Sorry you got sick. If that's what happened. And it wasn't the machine that got me sick. It was COVID, but I'm saying, I may be ill because of that. It's giving people cancer, and they're not even doing anything to replace it right now. Yeah, they're expensive. It was $1,800. Expensive, yeah. But if you want to live, you do it. So for people who can't afford a machine and you can't use the one you just got because it's killing people, what do you do? So in the meantime, you got to buy another machine and be out of pocket for that. So too bad. So anyways, there's a guy I've been corresponding with, and I've been trying to work it out with him, but I've been like a guy got sick, and his name is Paul Wallace. He's got a lot of really good stuff. He talks a lot about the ancient past, and he says a lot of things that may be controversial. He thinks that the Bible isn't translated completely correct, which I don't either. And he thinks that there is, he's got a lot to talk about. So I'm going to try and bring him on the show and talk to him, let him explain his views. And as always, when people come on my show, their view is not necessarily my view. Okay, so if somebody comes on my show and you don't agree with their opinion, that's great. That's your opinion. You don't agree with it. That's fine. But the thing is, it may ruffle some feathers. It may, because it kind of alters some of the beliefs that people may have about the Bible, the Elohim, what that means. I have done a lot of research in that arena. And there's a lot of people who disagree with me. Okay. I think that sometimes whenever the translations aren't correct, that it completely alters what the Bible says. In particular, the Old Testament. I think the Old Testament has a lot of issues. And I think that we're going to start to see more and more people waking up to the reality of what we're dealing with, the nature of God. I believe in God completely. I believe that he was the Father of Christ. I don't completely believe that the Old Testament God every time is the same as the New Testament God. I do not. And a lot of people have bashed me over the years for that, and I've done a lot of research on it. And unless you can translate Greek, Hebrew, Latin, Aramaic, and all these other, then you really don't know. I think that there's a lot of mistranslation. The Old Testament, I think they kind of wrapped it up into this to where God, everything is God. And I don't think that every time God is talked about in the Old Testament that is. I just don't. I think that there's a lot of mistranslations there. And that's what this guy Paul Wallace. He's actually a preacher, but he talks about that. It's something that I've been into for a long time, is trying to uncover the truth. I've been attacked for it, called a heretic. I think castigation is the biggest problem we have. People who try to uncover the truth, they're afraid of being reprimanded horribly by their peers. And I think that that's a problem. Got to stop attacking each other because we don't believe 100%. I think that there's a lot of things, that need to be discussed that we can't really get to the bottom of because of everybody's fear. And I think that that's one thing that we need to do. And it's one thing that my old co-host Sal was big on. He was always talking about, Zechariah Sitchin. He was big into Sitchin's work. And I was into it some. Armando was also into Philip K. Dick. I think he had some interesting things to say. But by the same token, I think he was out there too. But I want to bring this guy on, and I want him to talk, and I want you guys to have an open mind. And if you don't believe, you don't believe. See, some people don't believe that dinosaurs ever existed. I had an argument with a guy. I'm not going to get into it. He was a pro athlete. And he was over there telling me that dinosaurs never existed. And I said, how can you say that dinosaurs never existed? He said, dinosaurs were not in the Bible. What I told this guy is that planes, trains, and automobiles were never in the Bible either. So how can you say that? I will tell you this. We'll get into a couple things. We'll get off of this COVID thing here. Jeff Nadolny, like I've said before, I've never met the guy. He sent me some condolences when my mother died, which is more than some people. And I have no problem with the guy. I don't know him. I have a problem with the Victor thing because I don't really believe that guy, but I don't know. I don't know what Jeff's hand is in that. I don't know if this guy just came on and was playing him or what. I have no idea. So I'm not going to talk bad about the guy. I'm not going to trash the guy. I have nothing to say about that guy. He's never done anything to me, as far as I know. People have told me he said things, but I couldn't find any proof of it. And people like to stir up things and say, oh, Fontaine said blah, blah, blah. So-and-so said blah, blah, blah. You go to the gym and be like, oh, that guy said he wants to spar you. Said he's going to kick your balls into your throat. Said you're weak sauce. And you go up to him and the guy's like, huh? I never said any of that. Who said that? Oh, these 2 or 3 guys over there and they're laughing. That's how it goes. Oh, you've been in the gym long enough. You know how people are. This guy said he could lift more than you. This guy can beat you up, blah, blah, blah. He'll choke you out. He'll punch you in the balls. You know. Who cares? It's all a bunch of bull crap. Until you do it, it's just a bunch of talk. And that's how I feel about things with Jeff. People saying that he said this, he said that. I have never personally found anything of him saying anything bad about me. So I have no problem with that guy. And I don't want anybody trashing him because I don't know. I don't look at him as the same as the Victor guy. I don't know if that's his friend or what, but I have a hard time with the Victor dude. I don't really know if I can believe what he says. I listened to a little bit and was just like, ugh. Got chastised the other day for saying something about a couple of my old enemies. Somebody was in a group and they were like, you said something bad. You said something bad. Man, this man, he needed to make over bad. Well, the problem is with that person is that they continue to attack me and then they go on their little thing and say, Josh Turner's after me. He's chasing me to my car. He's coming to me in my dreams and choking me and hurting me. I don't know if he said all that, but he said a bunch of crazy stuff that was about as outlandish as that. And I'm over there dying of COVID, sick as heck. I ain't got time to be messing with you, dude. When you got that and you're trying to breathe, trying to live, the last thing you care about is some internet beef. You don't care about this dude. I don't care about this dude. And he's getting on there saying that he quit doing stuff because of me. Thank goodness. Thank goodness if I go one day, I can look back and go, I did that. I made him stop doing podcasts. Thank goodness, folks. Okay? I saved you from him. Okay? Because his podcasts were terrible. It's like somebody clawing out your ears and your eyes at the same time. And you're like, it was like Ebola. Yeah, you dog man. It's cool. Yeah, dog man. And then it's horrible. So anyway, somebody chastised me the other day. Lied and said, "Oh, I never knew he existed until you said something." And I never said anything about him. So don't sit up there and say you didn't know he existed because you went through my timeline and found a funny video about him. You guys know me. You know I like to talk trash. I like to talk trash. I'm a joke until I die. That's how it's going to be. You know, I don't care. It's going to be what it is. I mean, it's silly. I mean, that's all. Your life, you can't take it too seriously because look how quick it just boom. You know. You sit there and stress out about everything. You get stressed out about everything. I have so much stress in my life. When I had COVID, it put everything in perspective. Okay. Oh, I lost the big account, a 24-hour account. You know what I thought about that? Didn't care. Fighting for my life. I thought, oh, that sucks. Time to try to breathe. Don't care. Did not care. You had people telling me this, telling me that. Had some people get on there and phony baloney with their clown shoes MMA, going up to a boxing tournament that I wish I could have been at, pretending like they trained people, which they didn't. You know what I thought? Nothing, because I don't care. I'm trying to live. But once I was well, then I said, okay, now I can start stressing and worrying about all this crap. Isn't that funny how that works? And then my blood pressure went up, anxiety went up, because then you start caring and worrying about all this stuff. Problem is, we get sick, God puts everything in perspective, and then you go back to being whatever. You can't do that. And when God blesses you, somebody said this that I actually don't like, but I'm going to repeat it. Lose the ego. You know, he'll you're going to set you straight. Believe me. I got a story that somebody gave me. Their mother was sick in the hospital recently with COVID. And this happened to me in a way, in a roundabout way too. I had H1N1 back in 12 or 13, something like that, depending on what timeline we're in. And this person said that the mother was on a ventilator. She was dying. She had a dream that a bright light came to her that turned into sort of an angelic figure and said, you're going to be okay. You'll be here one more day and you'll be done. And it was like a miracle. And she woke up. Doctors couldn't believe it. Lungs were full. And she left. They said she's fully healed. This happened in Virginia. Now, I don't know what to make of that. This person was asking for prayer, help, my mom's dying. Next thing you know, she's being released. She's fully recovered. Miracles do happen, folks. I've seen it. Seen it happen. They were going to induce me into a coma. My blood pressure had gotten so high. That's one thing about the H1N1 that was just way worse than the COVID, was my blood pressure was just out of control. The fever would not go away. I could not get the fever down. And then I saw what I thought was my mother. And I think it was actually my grandmother, because they look a lot alike. And so, miracles do happen. I got stories like that I could tell you. There's a lot of stuff out there in this world that we can't understand. You got all these people out there who are, and bless their hearts. I mean, I'm not trying to be, they're good people. They're not bad people. Bless them, but they believe 100% in this science, and science cannot prove most things. Our science is so weak that when people say, I believe in science, I just laugh, because it's like, you can't explain anything. You can't explain the things I've seen. You definitely can't explain most of the stuff that people have told me that they've seen. And you're going to tell me about science. I had somebody the other day give me a lecture about science. I was too sick to sit there and argue with them, so I just was like, thumbs up. Yeah, good, dude. Whatever. Science. Yay. Yay. Hawaii. You went to Hawaii. Yay. That's how I felt. And if you're listening, that's exactly how I felt. Your opinion meant about as much to me as a fresh bucket of hamster vomit. Except the hamster vomit probably has more nutritional value than what you were telling me. You couldn't prove anything, and there is no way to prove, the woman got up, walked out of the hospital, has been completely healthy. She was sick for 2.5 weeks. She says an angel talked to her, told her she was going to be fine. It wasn't her time. She was going to watch her grandkids grow up, and she's doing it. So, I don't know who this person is. Says COVID is a lie. Okay, average American. I've never been a COVID denier. I've never said COVID was fake. I never said I didn't believe in it. Okay? It wasn't like I got COVID, lightning from the blue, and now I believe. I believe in science now. I believe that COVID is real. Never said it wasn't. But what I did say was that it was man-made. Okay? Dick Richards, I like that, what you just said. This person said, Tracy Clark says, I had a near-death experience as a child from asthma, stopped breathing, and the next day was well and awake, talking, released from the hospital. The doctors could not believe the recovery. Happens all the time. My business partner's wife had cancer. He stopped everything and focused on her for months, juicing her, giving her the juicer. What do you call it? For the vegetables. Just feeding her correctly, giving her supplements every day. And I apologize to Bear Salon. I apologize to you for that person's comment saying COVID is a lie. Okay, that's not true. COVID is very real, and I'm sorry that your dad's in the hospital. Where it came from, I don't appreciate people coming out here and saying my friend just died from it. Okay, I can't even tell you how many people have passed away from it. Luckily, Lyle's alive. He made it through. So did I. A lot of people die from it. But I'm sitting here telling you right now, it's not fake. Somebody said, I saw Jesus when I was seriously sick back in 2014. It happens. Happens all the time. Got a story out of Minnesota. Same thing. Guy was dying. Guy said his dad was on his deathbed. He saw a bright light. He thought he was going to heaven. He thought it was over. And he said, nope, you got things to do. We're going to get rid of this. And he lived. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the stories are very similar, too. I got 4 or 5 of them. People sending me things, especially since I got sick and I admitted that I had COVID. Somebody told me that. You finally admitted it. I'm like, I also have dark brown hair, a nose, and 2 eyes, and 2 ears. I finally admitted it, folks. I'm human. I'm not a Nephilim. There, I said it. And what's the deal with that? What is it? There, I said it. Like you've let it off your chest. I love money and steak and fast cars. There, I said it. It was pretty obvious already, dude. Somebody said, yo, what happened to Armando? Armando passed away from COVID. So, he's gone. And I argue with people, too. Before all this, I was like, look, COVID's real. No, it's not. It's fake. It's all bullcrap. It's the flu. Very close people to me, too. And I said, no, it's real. There's still a lot of people who have, who are sick. I got now probably 6 people. I think it's 6 people in the hospital. 5 have died. not of that 6, but 6 are still in the hospital. 5 have died, and I got about a dozen on my Facebook who have it, and who also have relatives, things that have it. I probably would be 40, 50 people. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and argue with you. If you don't want to believe that it's real, don't believe it. But I had it. Okay. Along with several other people. My brother, his son's got it. My nephew. They're pretty strong. They're fighting through it. Anthony beat it. Got well before I did. My wife was doing better the last couple of days, and then today she kind of got sick again. I think that her deal is stress. Please pray for her. She gets so worked up and so stressed. She was worrying about Johnny Henderson. She's been worrying about everybody. But ain't nobody paying me up here to talk. Nobody's paying me to tell you that COVID is real or is not real. I know people who got, like I said, got vaccinated who got it. That's not fake. That's the truth. We can't do anything. You're just going to have to probably, if you get vaccinated, and that's your choice, okay, you're going to have to get booster after booster after booster, because I don't understand how because all these people that have it, you know, and there's people just running around, going to concerts and doing all kinds of stuff, and they're like, I've been vaccinated. Next thing you know, they're wiped out. They're in the hospital. I'm not messing around, man. I'm being serious. I know someone in particular, my friend's sister. She was like, I'm vaccinated. And that was her excuse for running around and going to every party in Austin and the Central Texas area. Now she's real sick. So I want to talk about, we're going to change gears here. I want to talk to you about something. We had some people talking about reptilians, and the other day, somebody on my Facebook said, they said reptilians aren't real. They said science says that reptilians aren't real. I didn't know science had proven that. I was like, wow. Science isn't real because reptilians are. And I told them that. I don't understand why people make statements like that. I really don't understand it. And I start arguing with these people, and I'm not going to argue with them. And a guy actually that made the post originally wasn't even the main person I started arguing with, and the person started private messaging me. Wasn't him, but he's actually a pretty good guy. I've known him for a long time. He's a pretty cool dude. Been on my Facebook for a long time. Don't know him in person. Listener to the show, I believe. But what do you mean reptilians aren't real? How can you sit there and say, hey, I don't believe in this? There have been so many cases of people seeing them, so many cases of people seeing their eyes slit up, people that I know personally. Heck, I may have even had an altercation with one. I don't know. 100%. But this person says that, and then you ask yourself where these people come up with this. Reptilians are talked about in the Bible. I mean, it talks about the serpent, I got to wonder, where these people get their information from. If you believe that they're real, tell me that you believe they're real. If you don't, tell me that you don't believe they're real. Let's see what the consensus is on this, because I think they're real. I was watching David Paulides' show last night, The Hunted. It was all right. I got about halfway through it. I didn't finish it. But when he started talking about the cluster of people going missing in the Santa Fe area, my ears perked up. because that is a hotbed of reptilian activity. There have been so many people who've seen reptilians in that area. I got a guy who told me that he used to run a taco stand. And there was this guy who used to come up there every night right before he closed, and he'd order 2 or 3 tacos. It was in Santa Fe. And he said that this guy was absolutely a reptilian. He was a lizard. And I said, "Why?" I said, "Why did you think that?" We'll call him Juan. And Juan said, "Because I saw his eyes slit up, and I saw it more than once, and I saw it when he ate. And it was crazy." He said that when he would eat, yeah, ruidoso too. Thank you for pointing that out. Ruidoso, definitely. I know, believe me. I've been out there and I've talked to people from the end of the mountain gods. Some of the Mescalero have told me stories. I have a knack for talking to any people from any walk of life and getting stories from them. I go up to them and I just say, "Give me a story. Give me a story." Argh! And then they're like, okay, all right, stop. And I'm like, all right, sit down. Sit down. Tell me the story. Come on. Yeah, let's go. I don't have all day. Come on. And then they start talking. And then I said, okay, all right, I'm going to leave. You don't know me. You never saw me. I'm out of here. Got my hat backwards because I'm a gangster, you know. And I run out. And then I got the story, and I'm writing it down, and I get in the car and I bail. I don't look as gangster with this right here. It's got to be a fitted hat. Anyway, you get the point. I get my stories. Smack people around a little bit here and there, and they just say whatever. Who knows? It's probably all bullcrap because I'm just smacking them around. They'll tell you who started the Chicago fire if you hit them hard enough. I'm sorry, folks. I don't know what that was. Residuals from the COVID. I don't know. That just point being, I get my stories. All right. Gangsta, yo. Yeah, there you go. But no. What happens is I talk to people, and I was having a drink at the end of the Mountain Gods, and I started talking to somebody a long time ago, and they got me in touch with somebody who I stayed friends with them for years, and we never got into it, and then told them about my show, and they watched it, and they introduced a friend of theirs to it, and their friend said, "Hey, I can tell you about this area, Ruidoso. I can tell you about skinwalkers and reptilians and giant lizards. It has nothing to do with the reptilians. They're just giant lizards." Told me all this stuff. Oh, about 2 months ago, probably back in July, June, something like that. They started telling me all this stuff, and it was because of a friend that I met at the end of the Mountain Gods. Met the security guy there. You know, same thing happened at Choctaw. If you haven't listened to I put it on my Facebook on the Paranormal Round Table group. I put it on there. I think Nelly put it on Paranormal Lounge. I did a show with Gary Spikes and Jeremiah Fountain. Good guy. He's half Mohawk Indian. Actually, I have 2 Mohawk natives on my Facebook. It's kind of funny. But he's on. The other guy's an actor, and he's married to the lady that I do to get my supplements from. Her sister. He's married to her sister, and they're actors. Her sister's an actress. But he believes in Bigfoot. But anyway, Jeremiah lives up in upstate New York, and him and Gary Spikes and Nick Valente, I did a show with them, and we talked about some stuff in Oklahoma. And I did make contact with some of the people up there in the Choctaw Reservation area, and I talked to some of them. I talked to the people out there in Ruidoso, the Mescalero. Unfortunately for me, I was having a conversation with one, and Scorpion ruined it because he told them, "Hey man, this guy's Comanche," and I'm like, well, very little. No, his grandmother was Comanche. the Comanche actually tried to genocide those people. So it was not, that, and that guy, I figured so long ago, who cares? And that guy was like, really? He's like, yeah, well, our ancestors didn't get along. I said, yeah, but we're getting along, right? He actually didn't talk to me after that. Thank you, Scorp. Appreciate that one. It was smooth. And then I think you told him you were Apache, which when you tell a native that, Apache is actually a word, a Comanche word. It means enemy. They didn't go around calling themselves Apaches. The Spaniards and the Comanches did that. And the Comanches called themselves the Nurmana, or Nirmana, depending on how you pronounce it. So they didn't actually really appreciate my Comanche heritage, because that guy particularly, he kind of knew history. Some of them don't even, that's like whatever. I told Scorpion, I was like, dude, you're going to get a skinwalker after us. Why don't you shut up? And then we just kept drinking. But I can tell you right now, this person says their last name is Mondragon. My stepdad was a wonderful guy. His name was Mondragon. He was from Monterrey, Mexico, well, south of there. He owned a ranch down there. He says, my people, I'm full-blooded native. What native are you? Yeah, Gary, Scorpion, you let him know that you were part Navajo, but he wasn't impressed with that, okay? He was just like, yeah, all right. They're Mescalero. They're not Navajo, so, I don't think that any of that really helped. Point being, just don't talk about that. Get the stories and get out. True gonzo journalism. I had people tell me about this Reptilians, this guy that owned the taco stand. And it's not like a long story. I can't give you a whole bunch of stuff. He just said that the guy came in there every day, like all the time. Like the guy was there every night. And the guy's eyes slitted up when he would eat. And sometimes his tongue would hang out, and he was just a weird looking guy, and it scared him because sometimes it was just him and that guy. But, and he said, the guy never did anything to me. He never did anything to make me afraid or feel threatened or to feel like, this individual was going to assault him. But it did frighten him. He said also, sometimes when he was closing up, the guy would still be sitting there just kind of staring at him. And a couple times he thought that his eyes were glowing. I don't know what that is. You hear about eye shine all the time from Bigfoot, Dogman, whatever. On this show, we talk about a lot of weird stuff. Ghosts, cryptids, alien abduction, you name it. We talk about it. If it's weird, we talk about it. We talk about alternate realities, alternate timelines. I got a weird story about COVID and alternate reality that somebody gave me recently. I haven't had a time to read over it more than once. And somebody says, why would they want to live amongst us? Why not? There's a lot of things that they can do, a lot of things that they can control. These people are so dumb. Somebody said spies, possibly. I think that for anybody to make a blanket statement saying that Bigfoot doesn't exist because they haven't seen it, or to say reptilians don't exist because they haven't seen it, or to say ghosts that don't exist because they haven't seen it, or aliens don't exist because they haven't seen them. Let me tell you something. I know people who have seen Sasquatch, and I really believe that they have. And when I talk to them about a ghost, they look at me like I'm from like I'm Ed Wood from Planet Nine. Okay? Why would you believe one thing and not the other? Why is it so hard to believe in these things? How is science going to prove any of this stuff to anybody, ever? I really, somebody says you should watch that movie, What Lies Below. It's about a reptilian dude. Let me look something up real quick. I just noticed something. We wouldn't be kin, Mondragon, because my stepdad was Mondragon. My mother's last name was Mondragon for a long time, and then she changed it back to Medina. But I just thought about something. Like, if you are so hardcore believing in one thing, why is it so hard? Like if you saw a dog man, like I did, why would you doubt Bigfoot? I've seen it both ways too. I've seen Bigfoot people say they don't believe in dog man. Dog man people, I don't believe in Bigfoot. I've seen, that. And I know a guy who actually believes that all Bigfoot are dogmen because he saw a dogman and not a Bigfoot. And so now he thinks that all of that is misidentification, that they're all just dogmen. It's all werewolf looking things. And I told him, I'm pretty sure they're two different things, if not multiple things going on. I don't understand where that comes from. I'm not sure what makes people think those kind of crazy things. And I say it's crazy because I think it's nuts. Just like I think that people say that COVID's not real. You know what? It is. It didn't take me getting it. To believe in it. This person says you should have Vic Cundiff back on the show soon. Also, you should try to get in touch with Kumbo to have him on the show. Would be a great guest. Kumbo might be. Who knows? Interview Cat Hansen. That's not going to happen, folks. Come on. Who is this? It's two different people. Cole, no offense to you, sir. But I will never, ever speak to Vic Cundiff again. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Cat Hansen, I will not put her on my show. Too many things. Too many things to list. Oh, I'm so sorry. Michelle G says, I lost my mother to COVID 2 days after Thanksgiving. Somebody said, I believe there's multiple things going on. Yes, there is. There are multiple things going on. I had a guy tell me, okay, and this is not a real long story either. It's a short story, but him and his wife were at a Whataburger. They were at a Whataburger. Okay, and they said it was like in Denton. I think it was up in North Texas, up near. This person says, I think it's just another form of the flu. If it's another form of the flu, it's the worst flu in the history of the world. Let's put it that way. Anyway, they were up in a Whataburger. There's Whataburgers all over Texas. Okay. Some people think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I think it's probably one of the better fast food burgers in Texas, but if you live in Austin, well, you got Hat Creek and you got P. Terry's, so Whataburger is like, whatever. It's like third or fourth string, bro. But they said him and his wife were sitting together They had their daughter on the other side, and these two people came, and they were sitting in the benches behind them. And they said that they were dusky-hued looking people, darker skinned, but not very dark, just kind of swarthy skinned. And they began to talking in a weird language. And he kind of paused, and I was going like, and no offense to you, sir, but I was like, okay. And then he says, what I'm about to tell you is going to sound unbelievable. That's why I kind of paused, because I was having second thoughts. I said, well, sir, if you don't want to tell me, you don't have to. But I have a special set of skills, and I will find you, and I will get your story from you. And he's like, okay, I'll tell you. That didn't happen that way. Anyways, it happened worse. No. So the guy tells me, he says, because I'm waiting, and I'm thinking, so two people that were foreign freaked you out? And he says what happened was their speech. Now I can't really imitate the way he did it, and he said he's not even. But it was kind of like the way he described it was like, that's I don't even know what that is. And I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at my recreation of it because it sounds silly, probably. I don't know what that is. But I thought to myself immediately before, and I'm not making this up, before he told me what he thought it was. Oh, finally, thank you. Somebody donated some money. Enrique Salinas. I'm over here dying, and people didn't donate nothing. See how it is. You're all dead to me. You know that? You're all dead to me. All of yous. Yeah, get out of here. Anyways, guy said that the one that he could see, they were wearing hoodies, He said that when he was looking at his phone, the guy had his phone down, was looking at his phone. He said that his eyes lit up. And then he looked right at him and his wife, and his eyes went like slid up. What is that? What is that? I mean, he said that they just sat there and they ate their food. He didn't look up again. The daughter was talking away, and he goes, neither one of them talked. When they got to the car, the daughter had gone to the restroom. His wife came out, and he's like, where is she? Why did you leave her in that restroom? He was so terrified. He freaked out, ran back in. Daughter came out and was like, what's the big deal, And later on, when they made it home, they talked. And they didn't live far from that particular Whataburger. And they told the daughter never to go there again. And she's like, why? She's a teenager. Why? What's the big deal? I go there with my friends, We eat Whataburger, mom and dad, okay? Like, get with the program. I don't know that your daughter talks like that, and I'm sorry. If she does, I really apologize because that's messed up. But he's like, I told her, don't go there. She kept bugging him. A couple days later, he said that his daughter told him, I know what you're worried about. My friends have told me they've seen weird people in there. So what they are, what that was, I have no idea. They weren't black-eyed kids, I can tell you that. It wasn't, the eyes slid it up. I don't know what to tell you. With me, the way I am, if I was with my wife, I probably would have been very reserved. Just been like, don't look at it, honey. Let's just eat our wad of chicken or whatever it is that I order. Can't really eat much from there because it's, not good for me. And I would have just been like, that's the end of it. But if I am in that restaurant and it's just me and maybe one of my buddies, I probably would have went over to them and started talking to them and been like, hey, can I interview you? I do a show about weird people like you, weird creatures, creepy things. Okay, obviously you're aliens or you're some sort of creepy thing. What are they going to do? They're going to stand up and eat you right there in the store? Probably not very well thought out because I just realized that if I leave, they could probably follow me or stalk me or something, So let's not do that. Let's go back. Let's not do that. I'm just saying that's probably what I would do because I'm silly like that. Okay. I don't know. What would you do, folks? Would you have just kept your head down, pretended like you didn't see it? What would you do? I don't know these people. I met them through some people that watched the show. What would you do, folks? Would you get up and start talking to them? Be like, I couldn't help but notice that your eyes were going like slot machines. Are you a reptilian? They don't want to answer? Oh, you don't want to answer, huh? Grab the fries, start shoving them in there. That's what you get. You don't want to answer me? Men Whataburger, very short time. Start talking. Follow them to the restroom. Beat them up. Folks, I don't know what they are. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they come from. Somebody said, what do I send donations through PayPal to? I don't. What are you talking about? Nobody has to donate anything. I'm not hurting here financially. I mean, I've been sick. That's it. I'm very ill. I'd like for you to send money. Please. It's not me. Just worried about this friggin' CPAP machine. Hopefully it didn't get me. Folks, reptilians are real. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. I've seen too much. I've heard too much. I've read too much. They're real. Dogman's real. Bigfoot's real. Ghosts are real. I've had lots of experiences with ghosts. Curtis, I say inner earth. Yeah, I agree. I really do. Here's another one. This person worked in a mall. Person brought their kid in, get the ears pierced. Mother started getting aggravated with the kid. Eyes slitted up on the mom and the kid. Says, can you explain better about the eyes movement? I can't really tell you. I have a blinking condition that I have, and I don't know that that's what it is. From what I've been told, including my own brother and a couple of my buddies, my friend Squid, Scorpion, they all saw this dude's eyes slit up. Willie was, God rest his soul, but I didn't see that, so I don't know. But because I was too busy fighting with the guy every time. But the eyes kind of go, they flip, almost like they flip, and they become slitted like a lizard. I don't know what that is, or maybe a cat. You know, I've heard cat stories. And I got some stories, man. I got stories. Believe me, being sick didn't stop the stories from coming in. Rude people just kept sending them to me. Now, actually, folks, I do appreciate you continuing to send, correspondence, because it gave me something to do. Get my mind off of the illness. It gave me something to do. I've had people telling me that my lungs are going to be messed up for a while. Not doctors, but people that have had it. They're like, oh, your lungs are going to be bad for a while. I hope not, because I need them. But I just felt like it was time to get back in here, get in the saddle, and I need your prayers, folks, please. Prayers, positive vibes, all the above for Johnny Henderson. We don't want Johnny Henderson to pass. He's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. He's got a lot of information. He's a good dude, and he's got to take care of his kids. They lost their mother. Okay? They lost their mother back in April. So you don't want to see them lose their earthly father too. Somebody says the mantis are the command control. Why do you believe that? Why are the mantises the boss? Am I going to have to eat that? I can't eat all of it. They said RIP your mind. They're now on the internet. Johnny is very ill with COVID, and he's doing bad. We need prayers for him. He doesn't want people to know. I know that, and he may be angry at me, but right now is not the time for all that. He needs prayer, and if he never speaks to me again for telling the truth and asking for prayers for him, then so be it. I get it. We got to pray. We got to lift each other up. We got to take care of each other. Yeah, Tommy, you said because the Greys seem to take orders from the Mantises. To me, the Greys are mercenaries, biological robots. They work with the Reptilians and the Mantis creatures. Thank you for that donation, Rebecca. I think that there are many, many things going on, and a lot of which we have no control over. I think that eventually it's all going to come out. Angel Martin said, yes, he is in the hospital. What these creatures are and what their agenda is, I have no idea. And if I told you I knew 100, I'd be lying. But they exist. And I don't like people saying that they don't. I can't prove everything with science, but our science is so flimsy that it's hard to say, hey, this is science, this is what this is, blah, blah, blah. I got friends that don't like each other. I got friends on both sides of the aisle. They're like, this thing is flesh and blood. This thing could be flesh and blood, but it's in the realm of spiritual, whatever. And you got people who are right in the middle who say, who knows? Who knows what these things are? They come in and out of our world. Like I said, like I described in one of my other episodes, where it's almost like they have like the 2-dimensional, and then there's 3-dimensional, and then there's 4-dimensional, 2, 3, 4, and the second can't perceive the third, and the third can't perceive the fourth. They come in and out of our world, and we can't do jack. Can't do jack squat. So I want you people to understand that if you come to me with a story or you send somebody to me with a story, I'm not going to reject them and send them away. It doesn't mean I'm going to believe every single story that comes across my desk, because I don't. I just don't. But I'm not going to reject somebody out of hand because I don't know their situation. I don't know what they went through. I have people break down and cry, grown men, trying to tell me their story. And that's nothing wrong with crying. Y'all seen me cry. I mean, my mom died. I cried like a baby. I just think that these people are a lot of these people being marginalized. And if you're a Dogman person or a Bigfoot person or ghost person or alien person, don't attack the other people. We're all in this together. Please stop compartmentalizing all this. these things exist. I don't think that they're all flesh and blood. Sadly, I don't agree with all my friends. Either way, I'm pretty neutral because I don't know. I'm just relaying stories that I get and trying to say, hey, what is this? What are we dealing with here? You know? When it comes to the Dogman, obviously the Dogman Whisperer, he's the guy to go to. He'll take care of it. I can't even do the voice. It's so stupid. He'll take care of you. He take Dogman. Come here, Dogman. I'll deal with you. Sit down. Let's talk about this. You know, the Sasquatch people fight. Ooh, they fight amongst each other. I mean, it's so bad. I mean, they're just like, I was in the middle of it the other day, two of them going back and forth telling me, I'm sick with COVID. I could care less about the argument. And I'm getting, do you think that that's right? Blah, 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 blah. No, this person, blah, 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 you know. You're both right. You're both wrong. You know, guys, I don't really care. I'm over here dying. I don't care if you did the Bigfoot, the Dogman, it's all that. It's whatever. And I'm supposed to think that this is, you know, I'm supposed to jump in, play referee or something. Finally, I just used the, hey, man, I'm 2 weeks into COVID. I'm dying over here. I can't referee this. I'm sorry that you guys don't get along about this. Why you would let Bigfoot come between you as researchers? See, that's Bigfoot's whole plan, isn't it? I'm on to you, Sasquatch. Yeah, I see how you are. You divide up homes and houses and marriages. Walking the way you do, you know, out there in the woods, lusting after beef jerky, whatever it is you're doing. Yeah, I know. I know what's up. I see how you've destroyed people's lives. But fear not, science is going to fix all of this nonsense. I'll give you a weird story. This person was in the Pacific Northwest, go figure. And I believe they were near Olympia, Washington. And they were driving in the rain. This person's, I believe it was their stepsister, had claimed that they had seen a Sasquatch on the side of the road, squatted down on that highway. And I've been on that highway. And they said that this thing walked out in front of their car really quickly and was across the road like, boom, lickety splits. The weird thing about this sighting was, because I've heard tons of, I was driving through Tennessee, saw a Bigfoot on the side of the road. I got about 100 of those reports. Doesn't make for good, you know, podcasting or books or anything. I'm not calling up Ken Garrett. Hey Ken, I got one for you. Guy was driving along Tennessee, saw a Bigfoot on the side of the road. What did it look like? It was hairy. Well, thanks, Josh. Thanks for that report. I appreciate it. Keep up the good work. I'm going to go now. I got to go light my kitchen with candles or something. I don't know. You know, some excuse. Because that's what I would do if Ken called me and said, hey, guess what? I got a story. Saw a dog man on the side of the road. Think this is a winner. I think I'm going to base my whole book on this. What did it look like? Like a wolf. And that was it. I drove right by. I'm not saying these reports aren't important. Send them to me, but I could just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 70, 90, 1,000, 10, 100, whatever. This thing walked out in front of their vehicle, and the lights, and it was lightly raining. They said it was raining, but not pouring. They said that they could see through it. And I was like, come again? that like we could see through it. Now, I talked to a friend of mine, and he said, "Oh, that's common. That's a camouflaging thing that they do. That's what they do. Bigfoot goes out there and puts on camouflages himself. So when you look at him, you see through him. Looks like a ghost. Any more questions? I got all the answers." And he's like that too. And I'm like, "No, sir, that'd be all. I normally charge, but I'm going to let you slide today. I'm going to go back to my TV show, doing what I do. So I'm so smart." And he's not on TV. I'm just making that up. But anyway, guy's to me, he's not a fun person to talk to. I was just like, yeah, I thought I'd ask that, but never mind. In fact, just forget I said that. That never happened. But goodbye. Talked to another guy. This person said, "Oh, that's a they're fading in and out. They go in and out of reality. That's what they do." I told everybody that would listen to this. And I beat the drum about it all the time. Toward the end of his life, the great researcher and great friend of mine, I even named my cat after him, Martis. You'll be proud to know that Martis is a menace. He loves Nellie, though. She adores that cat. He likes to chew on my blanket. I don't like it. But he's a sweet cat. He's a really good cat. I like him. He is a menace, though. He's at that mischievous stage, and he's good for Panzer. Panzer's so fat and doesn't want to do nothing. And Elvira just chases him all over the place, and they have fun. That's my dog. We named her Elvira after the song Elvira by my friend Lyle Blackburn. Elvira, Mistress of the Bark. When we were getting ready to get her groomed, to get her all prettied up so we could bring her on the show. She's a cute little dog. But I got COVID, so now she looks like crap. She actually looks like somebody's mop that they didn't ring out. So Scott Martis and me had this conversation before he passed, and we talked pretty regularly. And one of the things Scott said was he was starting to come around to the idea that there was an element to a paranormal element to these sea creatures. How could they elude us for so long, And we were going to do a show about that. That's the truth. And he was going to give some of his thoughts on that. But he passed suddenly, not from COVID. And I think it was maybe a couple weeks before I got COVID. Put this on. My hair's starting to bother me. Plus, I need to promote. I haven't even got any donations. I must not be doing a good job. Sorry, I've disappointed you. I've failed you all. Coming on here like this. Half-cocked. Anthony's going to beat me. I hope you know that. If I don't get more than $50 on the show, he beats me, folks. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you the truth, folks. Help! I need help! I'm not doing anything. Okay. All right. Whatever you want. You ever seen The Twilight Zone? You know, the kid that wishes people into the cornfield. It's kind of like that. Wishes us into a cotton field because Taylor, cotton land. Anyways, he beats me, folks. I'm telling you. If I don't get $50, I get beat. Let's get going here. I'm just kidding, folks. Somebody said I'm falling. I can't get up. You remember those commercials? You used to laugh. You were a kid. You're like, look at this. This person falls. And now you're doing it. You're like, oh. My knee, for some reason, toward the end of the COVID, when I was really getting better, I was starting to get better. My knee just went out, and it was like 3 or 4 days, man. I was like, "Good gosh, what's going on here, man?" Somebody cursed me, but your curse is going to come back to you. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. If you do something like that, it will come back to you, folks. It's going to. That's how it works. Just keep pouring on that gasoline, and that karma builds up. So what happens? Boomerang's back. So, folks, if you have questions, let's ask some questions here. Let's see what we got. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Rocks Max 4, so glad you're back and over COVID. How's Nelly? Nelly's still fighting. It's a $10 donation. I appreciate that. Maybe I can hit my $50 quota and not get beat by Anthony. Look, folks, I know I'm way bigger than him, okay? But he is strong. He's a very strong reptoid, okay? I've been throwing hints this whole episode. He's got that wiry strength. Pick you up and flip you for real. Somebody said, has the key shown up yet? Yes, it has. It has reappeared. It's on my nightstand. Can Bigfoot get COVID? Sure. Why not? Give me your opinions, folks. Do you think Bigfoot can get it? I don't know. I'm not a Bigfoot. What's your thoughts on Operation High Jump? I have no idea what that is. This person says their husband is a lizard man. Can you expound upon that? Can you give us some something about that? Can you tell us what that is? Folks, next week though, I'm gonna talk to Albert Rosales, maybe get him on, or Lyle, or I'll get Phil Stern to come on and tell his story. I've done his story. I got another guy who wants to come on and maybe talk. I did his story on Dogman Encounters, but they can tell you with their own words, and that'd be cool. I've talked to a few people who they're saying that they might want to come on and tell their story. I will be on TV. Don't care because I looked like crap and I had to sit there like a stuffed sausage. It was a horrible experience. Thank you, Michael Sheehan, for ruining my life. I'm just kidding. Mike's a good guy. These woods are haunted. Or wait, is it Terror in the Woods or These Woods Are Haunted? I'm not. I think it's These Woods Are Haunted. I don't know. I did a spot for them. They wanted to do the what's it called? The Church of the Forgotten. Yes, please hit like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Let's talk about Admiral Byrd going to the center of the world. Anyway, I did that spot for Travel Channel late. I think it was mid to late July. It was around my birthday. I think it was after my birthday. And it was last year. Now here it is, September. And I know the new season starts September 10th is what Michael told me. And I don't know when my episode's going to air. Kind of hope it doesn't, just because it's just look like crap on there. For all the people in the world that don't know me, they're going to see me and go, look at this goofy looking fat boy. Oh, he looks terrible. Okay, this person says there's no such thing as COVID-19. Okay, all right. Then me and a lot of other people had something that we can't explain that had the same symptoms and people died. I managed to survive. It's on the Travel Channel, folks. It's going to be on the Travel Channel. So, satire. What does that mean, satire? I'm not saying I'm bad looking. I'm just saying when I did that TV spot, I looked pretty bad. I mean, I was on there like, and then the questions they asked me, I just felt so forced, and and we kept some of the information back for the show, and we told most of the information, but not all of it, on the our version, on the radio version, on the um, Paranormal Round Table. And we did that purposely because they had reached out to us about doing the show, and we had not released the radio version yet. So yeah, so we they wanted, they didn't want, I guess, all the information to have already been out. So I don't know if they're going to use some of that different information. So if you've heard it on the PRT, that's not all of it. There's a little bit of stuff, not a lot from me, but I think more from Scorp, that was put on the TV version. Somebody said I was interviewed on the news. They made me look fat. They do. They try to make you look really fat. Like, I look fatter on here than I do in real life. People see me in real life and they're like, "Man, you're so slim and attractive. I see you on your live stream and you're so gross and bloated and fat. I don't get it." I'm like, "I don't know. I don't either. It's weird. What the hell's going on?" It's aggravating. It makes me angry. I look like, Russell Crowe when he was angry and he was all fat and was driving, having a bad day. I'm going to run you off the road and kill everybody. I don't know what happened. I went from Gladiator to that. Somebody said I should have worn my PRT shirt. Yeah, but my wife bought me this right before I got sick, so I needed to wear it. All right, folks. I got to get out of here. Can only talk so long. It's almost 11 o'clock. And said what I had to say. Nothing else to say now. Mothman Part 2 coming out Friday. And then I got to figure out what I'm going to do for next week. Hopefully I feel... Another problem I'm having is the fatigue. The fatigue is really bad. I was told that it may be 2 or 3 weeks before I get that to where, I'm not just tired and fatigued. So we'll see how I can do releasing another show next Friday. And we'll see what happens. And hopefully we will come back stronger. Like I said, next Tuesday I'm planning on having somebody on, try and get one of the maybe 3 or 4 people I've been talking to come on and tell their story, their Dogman story. Dogman's not my only thing. A lot of people think that that's it. That's my wheelhouse. It's not. Yeah, I'm gonna get Phil on, Keith. Go harass him, go aggravate him. He runs my fan page that he made. That was not my idea, but go harass him. Trying to get Lyle to come down. Well, he had mentioned about it coming down before he goes on his whirlwind tour thing, and have him come in the studio. And also going to have Charlie come on, and we're going to show everybody the action figures. Those are prototypes, just so you know. The actual figures that we may stamp out might be smaller than that. I'm talking with Barton and a couple other investors and Lyle about an investment with these things. If you're interested in becoming a partner or an investor, hit me up, because we're looking for people. Because me, Lyle, and Barton can't do it by ourselves. But a cryptid line of action figures would be cool. It'd be neat. And I think that you guys would really dig it. And if you are an author or a podcaster, researcher, whatever, and you feel slighted because you didn't get put in the mix, we're not done. You know, we may have 10, 12 people before this is all done. Like Weatherly. We held Weatherly back because Charlie wanted it to be a chase figure. And I'm like, what are we doing chase figures for? We're not even, I get the point. But right now, these are just prototypes. So, you know, and if you're going to come at me with this attitude, like, well, why am I not in there? You know, it's because you suck. Period. If you come at me like that, I'm just going to tell you the truth. I don't like you. Maybe I don't like you. Maybe you're not popular. Maybe you're not cool. Okay. Maybe I don't think you're marketable. Okay. I'm not saying everybody that's not on there is that way, but a couple of you that came at me sideways, talking mad, like, you know, you think you're somebody. Well, you're not. You ever heard that saying? You think you're hot snob, it's really just cold booger. We used to say that all the time in the 80s, kids. It was really goofy and gross. But that's what I think of some of these people, especially with their attitudes coming at me like, well, I'm not part of it. You're not going to be. So, unless you want to put up 30 grand, you got 30 grand lying around, and you can become an action figure that doesn't sell. You know, I honestly don't care if I'm made into an action figure. I know what I think will sell, and I know that there are certain people who need to be made into figures because those people are legends. Like I said, Barton Nunley, David Weatherly, Nick Redfern. You know, these guys have been at it for a long time, a lot longer than me or you. Lyle Blackburn, Ken Gerhard, okay? And Nick Valente, because I think Nick is an unsung hero in this field. He does a lot of work. And I think that he puts in a lot of work, and he puts in a lot of his own money and time. And I think he does a lot of good work. I think Linda Godfrey deserves one too, but I had gotten a message from Barton saying that she was praying for me and to recover, so that's good. She's gotten a little bit better. But I need to talk to Linda myself personally before I go on making figures of her. So yes, Linda Godfrey is definitely one that we'll be looking at, but we need to get you know, these people's permission. This person said you should go on Spaced Out Radio. I already had that invitation. I turned it down. I wanted to go on and talk to Dave Scott, but I wasn't. I was going to talk to somebody else, and I was like, "No, that's fine." I'm not being a prima donna. I just don't. I don't go on a lot of shows. That's why the one with Jeremiah Fountain, the one we put on the, you know, we released it where they asked me a bunch of questions and I talked. It's on Paranormal Round Table group page. You can go. I think it's in the announcement. You can go up there and look. Yes, you're right. Who's this? Is it Vera V or Vera? I can't. Vera W? Yeah, you're right about that. They're Nirmana. So, folks, just so you know, I'm here. I'm alive. Hopefully, I don't regress. And hope I entertained you a little bit, made you laugh, gave you some stories, asked some questions, did the best I could. First day back. Be thinking about what you want to see with these cryptids, because everybody has their own idea, and nobody's idea is bad. So hit me up. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about these figures and what you would like to see. What interests you? And I don't care if I make money off of it as long as I can break even. That's all I care about. Get my money back out of it. And I don't even care if I get a figure or what. I already got the ones that Charlie made for me. I don't care. I appreciate his work. He does a great job. But yeah, I'm not interested in self-aggrandizement. Honestly, and I don't care if I make a bunch of money off of it. And that's another thing. People always tell me, "Why don't you go on more people's shows?" I get invited. It's not like I don't. But I like to do my own thing. And most of the time with these shows, you have to they ask questions, and it's monotonous, and and I can see why a lot of these guys don't want to do interviews. It's like a chore to them because a lot of people don't know how to do an interview. You have a discussion with these people like they're people. I just ask them questions like, like Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live. Do you remember that time you wrote that book? Do you remember that book about the Black Eyed Kids? Yeah, I wrote it. That was great. It was a good book. They do. It's like they do that. It's like they do some kind of, like they just, I watched Ken get interviewed by a guy. It was painful. I was over there like, oh, man. It looked, and Ken was answering the questions monotonously, and it didn't look fun. Didn't look good. So I can tell you right now that there is an art to it. There is an art. Chris Farley was a good guy. Yeah, rest in peace, good Chris Farley. But he would do those. You remember when you wrote this Central Guide to Bigfoot? It was awesome. And you're going like, some of these people, they have no business being on a show. And then on top of it, they have the nerve to use the same time slot as me on Fridays. Do what you want, but do it better. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to interview somebody live. I don't see why the big deal, whether they're live or they're pre-recorded. I mean, living down by the river. Yep, you're right. Yeah, I'll interview somebody, talk to some people who that I did their stories on show, on Voldemort's show. And I will bring them on and let them tell their stories. Just couldn't do it today. I was kind of still at the end, and I'm thinking, yeah, Gray Matter, actually, that's what we're talking about, is we're going to make cryptid action figures. We're not just going to make a line of researchers and podcasters and authors. You got to have the cryptids. The authors and all that. That's going to be a second thing. This deal I did with Charlie was me trying to commemorate these guys for the legends that they are, the friends that they are. Dark Waters' migration map is awesome. Check it out. I saw it. I don't understand why the entire middle of Texas was left out. Don't want to argue with the guy. Don't want to fight with him. He can be very combative. Not with me. He hasn't been that way with me. We haven't had problems, me and him. And I don't plan to. Respectfully, I don't agree. I don't agree with it because it circumvents Texas, which I don't understand that at all. We get a ton of reports of Dogman here in Texas. A lot of people tell a lot of stories from Texas. So I don't know why the Dogman would go around. I mean, there could be, with respect to him, there could be a migration pattern that goes that way. But why would there not be any accounts? I just had somebody, in fact, the question that you had, I don't remember who it was. It just said have somebody tell the story live. You must not watch the show very often because uh, I had somebody come on the show. Um, was it right before I got sick? I think it was the episode before I got sick, or maybe the one before that. And there was a lady from Livingston, Texas, who came on the show and told her dogman encounters. That's in East Texas. So yeah, I did have somebody just recently, not too long ago, come on and tell their dogman story. Somebody says, I love hearing dark waters smack down on people. Yeah, as long as it's not you, and then it's perfectly fine. I don't know what that is with that map. I don't know if it's a marginalization of Texas. He claims to put ads in newspapers in small towns and pay them. I don't agree with that. I'm not saying that's not what he does. I have no idea. You know, I'd be lying if I told you I know all about him because I don't. But I don't think that would be the most effective way because people lie. So if you're offering people money, they'll tell you some crap. I've tested it out. You know, not like that. I didn't put an ad or whatever, but offering somebody money, and then the story got real elaborate. And so I don't know. Yeah, somebody says here, Dark made the map based on reports made to him. I mean, that's fine. I don't agree that there are no sightings in the middle of all of Texas. And this person says Vic Cundiff is great. Good for you. You like Vic Cundiff. Awesome. I don't know why you felt the need to post that. He's not great to me or the things he's done. And maybe you're right. It says DW is probably mostly about Louisiana where he lives. Maybe that's true. Maybe he's looking at like Louisiana because that's where he lives. I don't know. I know though that Louisiana and Mississippi, I mean, they definitely have a hotbed of activity that goes on there. So I don't know, but yeah, I do know what you're saying about the map. I disagree. It's my right as an American to disagree, and I really don't care about all these other people who are going to try and start things up. Yeah, it said where Dark was missing entries, he said it's because other researchers had those areas covered. I don't remember that. I just remember him saying that the area in Wisconsin because Linda Godfrey had that covered. But I think that it would be beneficial for DW to talk to me about the some of the reports that are in the middle of Texas because I believe there could be a migration. But what I'm thinking though is there is some around the border, you know, but I think that they go straight up into Texas, and I think that they go into East Texas. I think that there's a lot that we're missing in the East. I think that it goes through East Texas and on into Louisiana. I believe that, and I think that if DW hit me up and we could talk, we could go through some of that. Maybe get in touch with some people that have seen these things in the big thicket, in particular. There's a lot of Bigfoot activity out there too. Now, another thing I'm going to say is these people that are challenging, you know, saying, "Oh well, you know, I would go out there and I would take the challenge." The Dark Waters said whatever to go. I wouldn't because I just wouldn't do that. I know a lot of people who talk a lot of trash and basically saying that they don't believe that these people exist, that there's people who will put up challenges, whatever. No, there are people that will do that. I know somebody here in Texas who's doing it. I don't agree with it and I won't promote it. But you do that at your own risk. Okay. If somebody tells you I have a monster on my property, and I want, you don't know what the heck that is. What is this? This was told to Wolf by Vic himself. What does Vic have to do with my show? I'm not hating on this person. I just don't want to hear about Vic Cundiff. Yes, thank you for that, Taylor. Appreciate that. I just let it go. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to get into you know a contest with him or Dark Waters. I don't want to argue with these people. If I'm not talking about Vic, yeah, but if Dark Waters wants to talk to me, he's got my number. He can call me. Vic does too, but Vic ain't ever going to talk to me again because I wouldn't answer it anyway. And if I knew it was him. As far as Dark Waters goes, got an open invitation. He can call me and talk to me anytime about anything. He knows that. And I don't, if he's mad, let him be mad. I think he's got more important things to worry about. They got hit by Hurricane Ida, just like I had COVID and nearly died. I think we got better things to do than fight with each other about some map he made. He can make all the maps he wants. It's his right as an American. I don't care. I don't have a problem with the guy. I do have a problem with VC. Not going to get into why. It's not important, and I'm not going to bring it into your lives and talk about it on my show. People have disputes. I take no crap from anybody, and I don't care. I don't have no ego personality disorder. I'm not no narcissist like I've been accused of by some people. No. I love a lot of people. I care about a lot of people. And actually, it says pray for Dark Waters. Yeah. And thing is, I haven't even had a chance until this last few days to check on him or to see if he's okay or anything. I haven't had a chance to check on anybody. I literally was like fighting for my life. COVID was bad, folks, and it was really bad. There were times when I thought I'd go to the hospital, and I didn't. I resisted it. My body fought it off. Thank God in heaven. In Jesus Christ's name, I defeated it. But haven't even been able to talk on the phone much. I barely talked to Barton for a few minutes today. Haven't had a chance. I've been texting with Lyle. That's about it. And all these other people message me and say, and if I haven't messaged you back, I'm sorry. I was very sick. I was dying, literally, and I'm hoping that my wife gets out of the woods and gets well. And then, the Hurricane Ida hit, and and I just was so sick. I did pray, and I hope that DW's okay. I hope that he's all right. He's one of those guys too. Even if he don't like me, that's fine. I don't care. I got respect for the guy. I got respect for the guy because he stuck by his principles. He took a ton of abuse from his stance with VC, and he never backed down. He never wavered. So if he don't like me, he don't like me. That's fine. I've had some people tell me recently that he didn't want to talk to me. That's fine. But I still have respect for the guy. And sometimes even when you don't like people, when I'm not saying I don't like him, because that's not true at all. I do like him. But sometimes there's people out there that I don't like, but I still respect them. I can think of 2 researchers off the top of my head who I don't like. I don't hate them. I don't, they're not like the Dogman Whisperer guy, but I don't agree with them. I think they're kind of arrogant, but Dan, you gotta respect them. And even when you have enemies, man, sometimes you got to respect them, man. I played ball, I boxed, and there were opponents that I just absolutely hated. But you know what? You had to respect them. One guy in particular, when I boxed him, I beat him. But you know what? That night, he went out and partied and drank and had a good time. And you know what I did? I was talking like this for a week. And then after about 2 weeks, I could talk like this. And in about 3 weeks, I still couldn't bite down and chew. This guy went on and lived his life and was perfectly fine. My buddy Greg comes over, says, "Hey, yeah, he was drinking at the party, hanging out, blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh, really? Was he hurt? Was he beat up?" Nah, dog. He was just drinking, chilling. Oh, well, that's good, because I can't talk. But I won. But my jaw pops in and out of place now to this day. And I was drinking Metrics meal replacements for a week. No bull. My eye was like, but I still won. But he was fine. It's a fight game, folks. You never know what could happen. And just because you win doesn't mean you didn't get beat up. I've seen guys win and just blood pouring down out of their face, and they manage to grab a guy and choke him out or whatever. I think of Don Fry and Tank Abbott, where Tank Abbott just beat the snot out of him, and Fry just blind managed to get him as Tank was winded, and he choked him out. Incredible. Or Oleg Taktarov when he fought Tank. That's another good one. Or was it Bonner and what's the guy's name? I like the guy too. The light heavyweights that got in there and they beat the crap out of each other. Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner. Just bloody beat the crap out of each other. And I think Griffin got the nod, but Bonner ended up getting Dana White gave him a contract. Just because you win, don't mean you didn't get beat up. I've seen some amazing fights in my life. And you got to respect people. You got to respect people because some people, they're nobody's patsy and they're never going to be. And so when you go after people and you mess with people and you talk about people, you better know who you're dealing with. And that's the truth. Well, you worked with Bonner's mom, really? You got to ask him if he ever had anything happen. We get him on the show. It'd be cool. I was always a fan of his. Just joking. Steph, I saw what you put. That last part there wasn't not really acceptable, but you've been around a long time, so. And see, and I was supposed to jump off, and it's already 11. I really enjoy coming back tonight and talking to you folks, and we're going to do it again next Tuesday, and I'll be hopefully more prepared because I'll have a little more energy to get something going. I had nothing in the tank. And I'm going to have somebody come on next week, maybe one or two people. And this Friday we have Mothman. Next Friday I'll have something going. I got to get on track. I've just been ill, and take care of everybody. Yes, pray for Dark Waters if he was in the path of Ida and he needs his prayers. I think he's okay. I haven't spoken to him. But also, everybody just say a prayer, for Johnny Henderson that he pulls through, please. I want him to pull through. And, I'm going to get some rest, believe me. Yeah, Brock Lesnar and Frank Mir, that was a good one, too. Well, it depends on which one. The second one was just an annihilation. But Yep, everybody, I'll be back. And like I said, I'm going to try and get somebody on this coming week, talk to you about Dogman, another person, because we did have a couple people come on, a couple, well, either the last episode or the episode before I got sick, and they talked about Dogman. But we'll get more people to come on and talk about Dogman if that's what you want. It's not hard. There's a ton of people, especially here in Texas. We need to pray in earnest for Armando's family. God rest his soul. And Johnny Henderson, that he pulls through. I love everybody. Good night. Just so you know, my brother is still sick. He needs prayers. His son is sick, Zane. Anthony's gotten through it. I think I'm getting through it. Nellie's at the tail end. Scorp has had real mild symptoms. Kind of worried about him, and I don't want Mushu getting it. Mushu, I think, is not. Charles Morelli says, I find it odd how you, Vic, and Dark Waters have issues. Not a fan of Waters, but I enjoy listening to you and Vic. You three guys should work together at some point. Me, Dark Waters, and Vic kind of working together. Would be like you putting the elements together and them all blending into something you can drink. All right? Maybe me and Dark Waters work together sometime. I don't know. The ball's in his court. But not me and Vic. And I know Dark Waters would rather saw his arms off than talk to Vic. And he's got his reasons, and so do I. I respect him and his reasons, and people should, yes, please, like they said, just shut up about Vic. Okay? Sal, my old co-host, died. My wife is sick with COVID. Johnny's got COVID. You know, Dark Waters get hit by a hurricane. I mean, what are we talking about? What is this, dude? This is dumb. I'm not even going to entertain this anymore, man. All right? I don't want to talk about this. You want to talk about something real? Talk about something real. All right? I'm not, Charles, you're not offending me, you personally, Charles. I get what you're saying. I'm addressing you as a man. I don't know you from Adam, but I don't think you're a bad guy. But, you know, we just really need to start focusing on what's realistic right now. And my buddy who owns Spinners, you know, as long as I've known him, he's had a favorite cousin. Her name was Piper. She died of COVID recently. She was younger than us. I'm watching people die left and right. One of my cousins is in the hospital, his wife, but she's pretty much my cousin. She's always been really sweet to me. And I don't want her to die. There's just a lot of people sick. A lot of stuff's going on. Sal's family, his wife reached out to me this morning. We can do better, folks. Okay, let's not bring up the past and fighting and arguing and whatever. Sorry, I'm over here talking. I don't even know if y'all can hear me. I had Anthony came and told me the microphone's over there. I'm sorry. Was gonna get off, but I just want everybody. I'm so out of it, you know. This stuff does make brain fog too. But this, you know. Anyways, like I said, Sal's wife reached out to me. Sal passed away. Pray for his family. She loved Sal very much. They loved each other. They had a loving marriage. His children and his stepchildren will miss him. I don't know about financial assistance. His wife worked for the Attorney General. So I don't know. I guess you can try. Go on his Facebook page and ask. I don't know. Like I said, Hurricane Ida hit Louisiana, right there near where Dark Waters lives. Hope he's okay. I think he is. I mean, I haven't talked to him. I don't want anybody to die. Even Vic. I don't like Vic. We're not friends, whatever. But I don't want to. I don't want to hear about any more people dying of COVID or hurricanes or anything else. I'm just, let's just pray. Let's pray for one another. Peace. That we can all get along. That we all work together. We love one another. My friend's cousin died, and he's very broke up about it. Anyways, we'll have something for you Friday. We'll have something for you next Tuesday, and hopefully by next Friday I'll have something in the works. We'll be doing some stuff. So we're getting back on track. We're getting back in it. Angel, this is, I'm going to say this one more time. Sal died of COVID. Okay. And everybody, good night.